Hi, I'm Betty, and this is my little travel and small adventure senior citizen travel videos channel. And I'd just like to talk about some of the places I've been, some of what experiences I've had in my travels from youth up to the age of 80, which I am now. And I hope to be traveling the rest of my life in some capacity. Now, that might be a trip across town to see something I haven't seen or to visit someone in a long time. But whatever I do, I just want to make it fun and enjoyable and just give me a reason to get out of the house and have a little uh, incentive to move more and live the rest of my life. So hopefully I can get that done and enjoy living and sharing my little adventures with you. And if you enjoy it, I hope you can subscribe and follow me as I start my YouTube journey. This is a new experience for me, so I'm not sure I can do it, but I'm so tired of watching all these AI created videos and all these little things that are not beautiful to me. They just look so fake. So when I share a little video, you know it's going to be one that I made, that I enjoyed, and I was actually there and taking the video. So at some point, maybe you will see something that you like, and if you do, I hope you comment on it and let me know. And if you travel to other places, I'd love to hear your comments and what you've enjoyed in your life. Nothing is more exciting to me than a little adventure. If someone says, "Do you want to go?" I say, "When and what time?" And I'll be ready. That's just me. I've always been that way. When I was a young child, my daddy's parents lived in Marietta, Georgia. My mother's parents lived at Ellijay, Georgia. So often we would go to visit one family or the other. And those little hour to 2 hour trips were over the mountains to Ellijay or through the south to Marietta and later to Atlanta to my aunt's house were just adventurous little travel things because we didn't take vacations like people do now. Uh, we visited family. And sometimes we kids would stay overnight, and my mother would go and visit her twin sister a lot. And oh my, we'd have a ball when we would visit our cousins at that time. So life just gives you an adventure and you roll with it. Now, our trips to LJ might include a stop at a grocery store, a little side store, because my daddy's dad had a store and we had a grocery store growing up. So he liked to go to different stores and go inside. He'd always buy us a Coca-Cola or something. And that was always a treat, even though we had the same thing at home later in life. It was a little treat. And he would always stop and buy apples because LJ grew a lot of apples back then. And he would bring crates of it home, and that's actually how he started his grocery store on our front porch by selling apples on the roadside. And he later blocked in our front porch and made a little grocery store, which grew and grew and grew and became a little neighborhood shopping center. Like we had pure gasoline, we had kerosene, we had butane, we had fresh meats, we had coolers. I sliced a ton of cheese and ham and dipped handmade ice cream. And so our little travel adventure started our grocery store. And then at LJ, there was a creek down below my grandmother's house, and we kids loved to play in that creek. So water has always been an adventure for me, and it was years until my teenage years before I ever saw the ocean, and that was an amazing event for me. But to get back to little travels as a child, when we would go to Marietta and later Atlanta, that was a total different experience. My sisters and I would enjoy looking at all the beautiful little motels along US Highway 41 as we traveled, and we'd say, oh, I wish I could stay there. Oh, I'd like to see that. And we'd see all these beautiful houses and stores, and it was just such an adventure because our little town, we had grocery stores and shops and all that, but the tallest building was 5 stories high, and that was the old Hotel Dalton. So anytime we could go that direction, that was a totally different travel adventure, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. So don't give up on travel if you can't go far from home. Just go where you can. Look for what you can and enjoy it, because life just gives you so many little opportunities to get out of your house and do things, and you just got to take them. Whatever age you are, if you can still get out, you can still go, do it. My mother lived to be almost 99, and she was like us girls. She would, if somebody said, do you want to go? She'd say, yes, where are we going? So we would make little trips just for her, even if it was just to ride around town and look at the azaleas and the dogwoods in the spring. Travel doesn't have to be exotic places. That'd be wonderful if we could all afford to do that, but most of us can't. So travel can just be in the little backyards of your hometown and across the mountain and to the little cities or towns around you. Just enjoy it wherever you can go and whatever you can afford to do. Now, I worked in my daddy's grocery store while I was a teenager, but I always wanted to work in an office. So in 1964, when I was 18 years old, turned 18 in December and went to work in January, I went to work in an office. And I met a friend, and eventually we got to be good friends, and her sister and my younger sister and another friend all went to Daytona Beach together. So that was an exciting trip, and that was the first time the first time I'd ever been to Florida. My first trip to the beach was at Jekyll Island, Georgia, and that was with my mother and some friends, and I was driving, and my mother's twin sister and her family was there, and we had a blast. I mean, it was so much fun. So I remember Jekyll Island at that time. It was segregated, which that was something sort of, even though I grew up in the South, it was different, because there were hotels specifically for white people and for black people, which I was glad there was, because some places didn't offer any travel opportunity for others. But getting to the beach side, us girls, and we were, like I say, all 15, 16, 17 years old, got in the ocean. We knew nothing about tides or anything. And my younger sister, 17 months younger than me, somehow got in carried out by the ocean, and we were all screaming, and people on the beach just thought we were kids playing. But me and my 2 friends, we made a chain and finally reached her and pulled her out, and thank God we did, because she's the last of my family I have left. So travel had its good times and it had its scary times, but fun was always an objective, whether we had a lot of money, no money, and just wanted to enjoy a little trip. So my next trip to Daytona, that was 1965 with my friend that I had met at work in 64. We met two guys from Daytona, from Chicago at Daytona, and they were right in the little hotel motel room right next to us. And so, oh, they were good looking. So my friends sort of, her and one of the guys sort of hit it off, and that's a little adventure initiated our next little trip, and that was my first plane ride to Chicago, Illinois to visit him with my friend. She had a couple of that had graduated with her from high school and lived there. So she called them and they said we could stay with them. They'd pick us up at the airport. We had never been to a big city like that. And so they did. And we got up there. My friend called the guy she'd met at Daytona, and his mother answered the phone, and he had gone fishing that weekend. We didn't think to call him and tell him we were coming, so that ended that. But we had a fun weekend in Chicago and saw the Buckingham Fountain and different things. So that was really a big spark in my travel desires and wanting to go places. So as I get into learning how to do YouTube and doing more videos, I want to share more travel adventures out of my teenage years, because they mainly considered, besides the trip to Chicago, little local trips to Fort Mountain, Rock City in Tennessee, Gatlinburg. I remember going to Gatlinburg, and I was afraid to drive because of the mountain roads I wasn't that used to. And I remember my daddy saying, well, now if the cars just back up behind you, just pull over and let them by. So that's what I did. So that's what I've done the rest of my life, because I never did want to drive faster than the speed limit very much. So if I was on a narrow road, not an interstate or somewhere where somebody could pass me, I find a parking place or pull over plot and let them by. Hey, I don't enjoy somebody riding my bumper, so travel can be whatever you want it to be. And I look forward to learning more on YouTube, sharing more on YouTube. And if you can subscribe and help me get started, I would love that. If you like the video and can comment on it, I'll try to read all your comments and respond. I do not want to do AI at all. I do not want any fake things on my channel. I want to be a real person, sharing real adventures, real little travel things. And so I hope you enjoy that. If you don't, just don't subscribe. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.